Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this how to play video, I'm going to take a look at Quest Druid. Quest Druid is currently one of the best decks on the ladder, and this is my own take on the archetype. It's a lot of fun to play. The idea of Quest Druid is that you have the Druid quest, untapped potential, end 4 turns with any unspent mana, and the reward is Osirian Tear, which causes all of your choose one cards to have all of their effects. So you really want to advance this quest. But sometimes if you're facing really aggressive matchups, you also have to think about, okay, do I actually need to delay the quest a little bit in order to simply survive? So sometimes you have to play like a rat or a beast or a swipe and delay your quest by a turn in order to survive. But for the most part, you're really trying to not tap all of your mana. So when you're on the coin, you play quest and you play coin on one. That's the typical turn 1 with this deck. So you get the quest advancement already on turn 1. And also there's an innervate in this deck. Innervate can be used similarly. If you're not on the coin, you're on the play, you play the quest, you play innervate, you get immediate quest advancement. That's because the power of many of the Druid cards after the quest is just insane. Oasis Searcher becomes 5 mana, summon 2 5/5 rush minions. Starfall becomes deal 7 damage to a minion and then 2 damage to all other enemy minions. And cards like Hidden Oasis is 12 healing and a 6/6 taunt. And Nourish, draw 3 cards, gain 2 mana crystals. How you win games with Quest Druid differs a little depending on the matchup. When you're facing aggressive decks, it's typically enough that you survive. You use your removal pieces, beasts and swipes and starfalls and searchers, and you play your taunt minions. Anubis at Defender is a great card, by the way. It costs 0 if you cast a spell that costs 5 or more this turn. So if you ever have half a chance to play Nourish and you get an Anubis at Defender on the board, that means that you gain a huge mana advantage while also developing a taunt to protect your face a little bit. In slower matchups, you aim to draw through your deck. The end of this deck is set scenarios. Some variants of this deck run King Faris. I myself am chosen to include Jeff Nomi. Some run both as well. Anyway, you want to get through your deck. You want to get to the point where you can build these boards. So Jeff Nomi, there's at least Enlightened in this deck. Obviously there are duplicates in this deck, but once you're pretty deep into your deck, there will be no more duplicates left. So then you can Elise. And if you Elise into having 2 Nomis and 2 copies of Flopidinous Floop, that means that you can create 4 Nomi boards, for example. So you can have some really big endgame power with this deck. Floop is a great card. Flooped Oasis Searcher creates 2 5/6 rush minions, for example, just a phenomenal card. And not to underestimate the Floop Anubis at Defender either, a 3/4 taunt that costs 0. So in the very fastest matchups, you play to survive. In the very slowest matchups, you play to build multiple Nomi boards. And when it's somewhere in between, you can often get a really big swing turn with scenarios. Because if you can get a couple of minions to stick and then use scenarios and give everything +2/+2, you can just build very strong board states. As for the mulligans with this deck, you're obviously always keeping the quest. The deck is very quest-centric. Other than that, Crystal Merchant is a card that you want to keep in every matchup. You can play this on 3, you can play this on 2 with an innervate. You start drawing cards, you start contesting the board. Very powerful tool. In mirrors and slower matchups, you want to hit your Nourish. Nourish is a keep in those matchups because they are all about cycling through your deck as quickly as possible. Whereas when you're facing some early game aggression, some zoo-like decks, Shamans, Starfall is an excellent keep. But you can also consider keeping things like Pounce or Claw to challenge their very early board. The main weakness of the deck is that it lacks hard removal. Druid as a class lacks hard removal. There are 2 hard removal solutions basically in this deck. One is Zephrys the Great, after you have drawn all of your duplicates. Then you can play Zephrys and you can find hard removal from Zephrys. But Zephrys is much of the time inactive, so Zephrys is not a card that you keep in the mulligan for that purpose. And the other hard removal piece is War Druid Lodi. After you have completed your quest, Lodi becomes a 4/6 stealth rusher with poisonous. So you can just rush it into anything and it kills it. And of course, Lodi can be duplicated with the Flopidinous Floop. And in some late game scenarios, it might also be relevant that you can at least Enlighten to double up on Lodis and double up even on Zephryses. Overall, very powerful deck. The most difficult decisions when playing this deck are about when you don't advance the quest. That's a really hard decision to make, but just be conscious that sometimes when aggression is threatening you, you can choose to not advance your quest for a turn in order to stabilize better and then make more use of it. If you enjoyed this content, then please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more. Now, let's go take a look at Quest Druid in action.
Alright, let's go. So I want to draw through my deck and I want to make some Nomi boards. But it could also be like an aggro warrior. Then we'll see what we do if it's something weird. But I do assume it's control. This one doesn't tell anything because every warrior deck in the world runs that card. So we be chilling for now. Okay, it actually is an aggro warrior. Alright, I didn't see that coming. Let's see. Alright, so aggro warrior. Then it's a little bit of a different ball game. I'm on the defense again, where I thought I would be just chilling and then I would attack. But turns out that that's not what's going to happen here at all. That's not what is going to happen here at all. I probably still need to take it easy. Just use pounce and hero power and take down that Corkron before he copies it. I didn't have a great swipe pounce play. This would always leave him with something. Alright, is this Highlander Warrior? This could also be a Highlander build. Temple Berserker is becoming pretty annoying here. Let's discover something useful. Wrath is pretty useful, right? I think Wrath is pretty useful. I'll use Wrath to kill the biggest threat at the moment, I believe. Let's kill the Clockwork Goblin. And we get the quest done. So next turn I can Nourish and I can Anubis at Defender. But does he have enough reach? Right now there's not a lot on the board, but he can always damage his own Temple Berserker. The upside is that it doesn't have Charge or Rush, so he can't go forth with it after that, copying. Okay, down to 16, but I think I'm fine. I believe. I could have a couple of Nomi loadies, but I think I want to Nourish now. Let's see what I can pick up with this. More Anubis at Defenders. That's excellent news. We'll play a couple of those on the way. Do I want a third one? Or am I going for some kind of double loady play next turn? I might still want a loady at some point.
How curious.
I could play the Crystal Merchant out there even though it doesn't draw a card. It's still something that he might need to react to. Yeah, I think this is the way. I think this will be a loady later on. Hi PUBG. Played the Token Druid and mid-range Hunt the budgets. I hope they were as good for you as they have been for me. You would loady. Like that turn loady. No, that turn loady was too early loady. That would have been too early. Because I can do loady swipe, so that I can kill the Ciliax as long as it doesn't have the Divine Shield anymore. Like here I can now do loady swipe if I like. This deck runs Leroy weapons. I need to draw cards. Loady will be in stealth, so I cannot attack with it. I can't get the taunt on the way. But he can't do big Grom plays yet. So I suppose it's fine. Here we play the Lodi. Then we swipe out the board. Looking to face a little. I don't believe I'm going to face tank anything in this game. So I might as well claw, just to get a little bit of health here, so that I can survive better. Now I have potentially another Lodi, but I also have potentially more Searchers. Okay. Probably wanting those Searchers here, right? Kind of hate revealing the Lodi. I'm at 17. No big Cromplay is coming yet. I still have the Hidden Oasis. But is Searcher the only thing I play this turn? I could Keeper this one first. That's probably fine, right? I can silence that. Then I'll play the Searcher. Then the Searchers can kill these. And I guess my Lodi can kill that one. Now Lodi can be killed with Arcanite Reaper, Militia Commander. There are more ways to kill the Lodi. But I'm not sure if that's going to be too much of a problem for me. More bombs in the deck. Ooh, nice Wrath. Okay, we're going to Wrath minion. I want to get the card draw. Sometimes you draw bombs. But I have healing here, which I was intending to use anyway. So I don't particularly mind. Push damage with these. Hidden Oasis my face. Alright. Ferocious Howl and Starfall are the only duplicates left in my deck. After those, Zephrys will be active. I got rid of all the bombs quite conveniently actually, so he can't play Blastmaster Boom. Well, he could, but he only would get 2 Boombots.
Well played.
Well, he needs something more or he's dead. Time to put the class in session. Let's go. Holding on some bees here. Alright. Probably a Quest Shaman, he kept that card. I mean, it could be Murlocs, but it's much more likely to be Quest. I think he's trying to coin an Evil Totem. That's what this makes me think, but it's Murlocs. Is this really Murlocs now? I need to proceed with caution. But I do need to get forward with the quest. I am uncertain what the Shaman deck is. Okay, well, it's Murlocs. So that's a Murloc Shaman. That's actually pretty annoying. He could have the health buff. Like if he plays Coldlight Seer next, how do I get rid of this board? Even if I kill the poisonous one. I probably need to kill the Slurper here. And not the poisonous one yet. Hi Big Dave. I'm doing fine, thanks. Because he could play the Coldlight Seer here. It is possible. It might not be probable, but it's possible. More stuff coming right in. But this is now Bee's turn, right? Bees down the Mermy. The poisonous Mermy. Only one bee is going to attack that, so I will have 3 bees left over. Yeah, I think that's how this one goes. Take down the poisonous Mermy here. And we advance the quest. Doctag, I think it's more easy to win in Hearthstone when I wait between 2 and 5. People could definitely be more tired. I can totally see that happening. Now there was the Coldlight Seer. Scary, scary stuff. Okay, quest is almost done. Almost. But not quite. I need to find a starfall for next turn, right? But this is not a starfall. What about the hidden oasis? Druid of the Claw. How do I survive? I have not found a swipe, I have not found a starfall. Hidden oasis is healing, but it's passive. Druid of the Claw is a bit more active. I might still need the hidden oasis. And I think I need to kill the poisonous Murloc here. So that if I like top deck a Searcher, I can take better trades with those. But now, difficult times ahead. Key moments. That's a weak Murloc, but that is not. And neither is that. Okay. I need a big card. I need a really big card now. That's not a really big card. So if I play Lodi... If I play Lodi, Lodi could kill one of the Grimscales. I could claw another Grimscale. But he can sacrifice the Tasty Fin, and he might be able to draw like a War Leader. You'd have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage on board. Where's my... oh no. Hard position. If I nourish, I don't have enough mana to actually play that stuff. What if I Lodi and Ferocious Howl? That's probably not enough. What if I Hidden Oasis? I go to 22. 5, 10, 17. But there's a lethal with War Leader. I think I need to play Lodi and Claw. And kill the Grimscale Oracles. So... now, so much depends on whether he finds a War Leader. Underbelly Angler would also be great. Alright, that's a Scargill. So if there's an Underbelly Angler, then that's awesome. There is the War Leader. He's one off. I can't do this. Starfall isn't enough. It doesn't clear. Starfall no longer clears. So if I go to 13 and I have 6 on board, I am dead. Is there anything that I can nourish into? No, there isn't. I did die. Ah, that's sad. But this might of course also be Token Druid. Crystal Merchant early would be a really big deal. That's the best card. And then looking for Nourish. Card draw is really important in the mirror, but this is not a mirror because he mulliganed this card, so this is actually a Token Druid. Which puts some quite different things matter then. I think I need to get my quest going because I have the Starfall. Oh, but I do have to play the Crystal Merchant. He might have a buff though. He could like coin replicating menace on the Mekaru, but I did have to get that out there because now he's kind of forced to play a buff card if he has any. Didn't have any. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. Then I'm going to hero power down this one. Or do I just kill the mech completely? But he's running landscaping, so he's probably not a mech build anyway. Landscape makes me think that he doesn't actually have mechs that he can use to buff the Mecharoo. So maybe killing that one is enough. This kills the first form of the Mecharoo. I get to draw some more cards. Okay, okay. But there can be lots of boards from a token druid. So it's still hard. But it can be doable. Okay, now this is looking a little bit scary. It's looking scary enough that I have to commit one Starfall. So I need to play the Starfall. Deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. Like this, so I get rid of that board. I can play the Anubis Defender. And I can play Innervate. Do I actually play Floop as an Anubis Defender out there as well? In a position like this, I think I do, yeah. Yeah, we just play that one too. So I get the card draw from this, I get the quest completion. I cleared out the 2/2s. But this is far from over. That was just what I had to have in order to not die. Because dying is kind of inconvenient. So this will be a nourished turn. Yeah, it's absolutely going to be a nourished turn. Let's see what I can pick up from that. And I probably want to keep drawing. 8 cards in hand. Yeah, I want to keep drawing. So Worthy Expedition. Mark of Nature isn't that bad here. I might need a Mark of Nature at some point. I can pick that up. This one goes down to 2 health, it kills that one. More and more treants. But I think I killed the garden gnome here. And I killed the squirrel. 8 cards in hand, I go to 9 cards. Alright. So we're still in this game. I know he has a spell that costs 5 or more, so he has another Force of Nature or he has like the Forest Shade. And Mulch Muncher is always a risk. I didn't kill the treants specifically so that... I mean, he could still have the Mulch Muncher, but it wouldn't cost quite as little as if I went ahead and killed some treants. Beast doesn't quite kill the Mulch Muncher. But I might be looking into Scenarios plays in the near future. So I'm going for an Oasis Searcher here. Then I can kill the Mulch Muncher. And I can use this to kill the squirrel. And I can use bees to kill that treant. So then suddenly I have a board. Obviously this board is swipeable. He could have a swipe in hand. And he might use swipe to clear this board. But if he does that, he is not developing. So I'm still cool with that. And if he doesn't do that, I get to play Scenarios. And suddenly my board is a lot more intimidating. So he has Forest Shade and some buff spells in hand or something like that. But, well... that's going to be a major problem for him. With the Scenarios coming down and things going towards his face. Now the Forest Shade, that useful. He had an Overflow in hand. Oh, I didn't see that coming, but how does that even help?
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.